Isn't that nice?
Aleph, 7, correct? 75.
Yes.
Yes.
Omer of Zutra Bartuvi Omerab. Hamotechus Shotfir Shabbos. Let's say you tighten a thread, right? A thread's been sewn and holding two things together, and by tightening the thread, it sort of connects the garments. Chayav Chatas. You're going to be Chayav. And if you learn something from a Persian priest, they were Zoroastrians. They believed in fire. They were called the Mogush. Chayiv Misa. If someone has the ability to understand astronomical knowledge and doesn't calculate, he's not acting properly. Now, Magushta. These Persian, fire worshippers. Ravush Melchanam Charshi. One of them held it was magic. V'chanam Gidufi. One of them, no, was Mamish Avodah Zorah, rejecting the concept of Hashem. And to Stayim the Rav Damar Gidufi. I'm going to prove to you that it was Rav who held that it was Avodah Zorah. Because it's Avodah Zorah. Because if all it is Kishuv Aksiv, Lo Silmad Lasos, Avalatalomid Lahavin Laharos. It means the Torah teaches us we're not allowed to learn magic in order to practice it, but in order to understand what it is, so you can paskin appropriately, you're allowed to study it. So it's clear you're allowed to learn. If you would be chayiv misa. So to stay in that it's Rav who's the one who holds that this Magushta is a Avodah Zorah. Whoever has the ability, the knowledge to calculate complex astronomy, the seasons, the constellations, the stars, the orbits of the planets. All of it's like you have purposely prevented yourself from viewing the mice of Hashem. So you're doing something bad by not understanding that. Very clear to me from this Gemara that one should study astronomy, physics, Kepler, Galileo, Einstein, and anything that gives you a concept of Paul Hashem and Maisa Yada. You could even extend it to biochemistry and other sciences. That's just my own comments. I didn't see anybody say that, but the Shulchan Aruch says mitzvah nechsheves k'mitzvah saseh in the Smad, that if you know how to calculate, these astronomical things, and it's a mitzvah. Person has, it's a mitzvah to calculate these things. This is a knowledge that the non-Jewish world thinks that you have, and they're proud of it that you have it. Isaac Newton was not Jewish, but there would certainly been, Einstein and many other great astronomers and calculators, physics, certainly have been Jewish. What kind of chokhmah bina is in the eyes of the nation? Calculating the, astronomical things. Rashi says chokhmah nikeresi. It's an obvious wisdom. Shemar lehem siman ledvar v'hilo chachama v'mazolis. because you point out to them, oh, this is going to be the way the sun travels and the constellations, Shmei Eden Kedvarv. And then like Kepler, showed that there was an elliptical orbit to the planets, and he calculated it, and the calculations work.
Ernie, this seems to say that Hachmo Bina is be'enei ha'amim, so you should learn from them. Yet at the beginning of this year,
no, they should learn. Kenny,
you can't learn from a Zoroastro person.
No, Kenny, they should learn from us. It says Rashi is saying that they will learn from us. So the pasuk says, this is your knowledge and wisdom, the way you reflect it to the other nations. They see us as having scientific knowledge, and they praise us for it. That's the Chachma Bina Sheila Eine Ami. What is the kind of wisdom that the other nations could see that you have? It's this kind of knowledge, because that's the way Rashi explains. If you calculate the ellipse of these planets, etc., they're going to be able to see that what you calculated is correct, and it's Kedvarov. You know that Albert Einstein in 1905 predicted that when the light comes from the stars, gravity is going to bend light. Well, nobody knew if he was correct. So after World War I, in 1915, there was going to be a eclipse, and a bunch of people were going to go out to the South Atlantic or the South Pacific and calculate whether this indeed occurs. But World War I prevented it from happening. So in 1919, a very famous expedition went out, and there was a total eclipse, and they were able to calculate headlines throughout the world. Einstein's laws predicted comes correct. And he won the Nobel Prize in 1921. That means he won the Nobel Prize after his prediction that gravity will bend light was shown by experimentation. It wasn't just. So it's a perfect example how that the calculating Chama v'Amazolis is Kedvarov. Not only that, Kenny, they say about meteorology. Somebody says Sha'omer Shona Zu Geshuma. He predicts that there's going to be a lot of rain, or Shona Ze Shchuna, or the opposite. You can calculate this up by astronomy. Okay. At Tzvi, somebody who hunts a deer, if you trapped the chilazon, which is a kind of snail, and they used to get the tchelas from it, the apotzo, and you injured it. I think you have to break into their skull or break into one of their bones to get the dye. You're chayav only for one. The Gemara is going to think that that's because the animal's already dead. But Rabbi Yehuda Omer chayav shtayim. Shahai Rabbi Yehuda Omer p'tzia b'chlal disha. That when you make the p'tzia and you separate this blood, which is the dye, you're like mafare. So you trapped it and you separate. Wounding this thing is not disha. Why did Rabbanon say that when you wound this chilazon, it's not another avei? Savri ain't disha legedulei karka. Because separating between what you want, what you don't want, is only by things that grow from the ground. So therefore, by being poitseya it, to get the blood out, does not violate disha. And for the Gemara v'lachayv nami mishum netilas teshama. Well, if you trapped it, that's one thing. Now, if you knocked its skull in and killed it, why aren't you chayav for killing the animal? So Amr Rav Yochanan Shabbatso Meis. You know what? It was already dead. And the only thing about getting the blood would be the issue of mafare, separating. Well, there's no separation by things that are not gidulei karka. So Amr Rav Yochanan Shabbatso Meis. You know what? It was already dead. And the only thing about getting the blood would be the issue of mafare, separating. Well, there's no separation by things that are not gidulei karka. That's the way Rav Yochanan. Ravo Amar, Afilu Temesh Chai, it was still alive. But Nisasiku Eitzel Tilus Hashama. You're considered, your kavanah is not to kill it. Your kavanah is to get the blood. Oh, we're back to our old friend. Dover Shem Iskavin is potter in general, but except for psik reisha v'lo yomus, right? That you can't claim, I'm going to cut the chicken, I'm going to cut the head of this chicken off because I need its blood for fertilizer. It's going to die. I don't. So it means you don't get the exemption of a malacha she'ena miskaven if you know for sure 100% that the other action is going to happen, like you're going to kill it. You're not allowed to kill on Shabbos. It means if you drag a bench, maybe it'll make a ditch, maybe it won't make a ditch. My kavanah is not to make a ditch. My kavanah is to drag the bench. So I'm a davar she'en miskavin. So just because I made the ditch, davar she'en miskavin is potter because it's not 100% that the ditch is going to be made. But here, l'chora, what about psik reisha? How can you say, the Chachamim say you're not chai for psia? Everybody agrees that even Rab Shimon, well, davar she'en miskavin is mutter. That's only when it's not a psik reisha. This is a psik reisha. Whereas the shiny hachad here, it's not. It's a psik reisha v'lo nichale. Nichale means he has to be happy that the animal died. But here he's not happy. The comedy is the more the animal lives, the redder the blood is, the better he's happy with the die. So now we have a get there of when Rabbi Yehuda says that even Rabbi Yehuda will be moide, but even by a psik reisha, v'lo nichale, Rabbi Yehuda will be moide that it's permitted. Says the Shulchan Aruch, lo chashen miskavin lasos muteres b'Shabbos. And we see that even Rabbi Yehuda, who has to be a psik reisha v'nichale. Psik reisha v'lo nichale, we see from this Gemara that even the Chachamim would hold that it's not, there's no prohibition. Then the Mishnah said, if you shecht it, you're chayiv. The shoichet mishumay machai. The Gemara Rashi says, where do we find shchita b'mlechas hamishkan? You don't have to shecht them. You can strangle them. You need their hide. You're not eating them, so you don't have to shecht them. So Rav Amar mishum tzoveya. Rav says no. We'll see that the area around the neck becomes bloody. You're happy that it's bloody. It shows like a color, like you dyed it. Shmuel says no, because you killed the animal. And we'll see, he wants to do it because he will sell his meat more because people will see that he's shechted freshly. And dying is certainly not malacha. And they certainly killed the rams and the tachash and the chilazon for all the hides, everything they needed. That was present in the Mishkan. So the Gemara says, what? Does Rav hold mishum tzovei, mishum etis Hashem alone? What? He knows that you're not allowed to kill on Shabbos either. Ema af mishum tzovei, he's chayiv for two things. For killing as well as the die. Amar Rav Milsa da Amri, that what you just said, Ema ba Milsa. We're going to say something. The loleisu dar basra v'lechech, so people won't laugh at me in the future. So why is he happy that when he shechts something that the neck gets bloody? It's sort of like advertisement. It shows that he's shechting fresh meat. People will come to buy from him.
But still, Netilas Neshama is not one of the Av Malachas. The Gemara never answered that question.
It did. Rashi said, no. The Gemara wanted to know where in the building of the Mishkan do we see Natilas B'Shama. So Rashi says, the Mishkan be'elim ma'adamim, they needed the spotted rams that they needed to kill, whether you shechted them or strangled them. If you killed them by any means, you were over the Isser. So that's where we get the Avalach. And then the Tachash was another kind of animal that they used to hide for, and the Chilazon, that was something that was used to dye certain of the items, and in the base of Mikdash, and that was used, therefore it's an Av Malacha.
But why is that not listed in the Lamites Malachas? Why
It
is it
is.
not a...
It is. It says Shchita.
Sobeya?
No, it says Shchita.
Ah, Shchita, okay.
It says Vashochto. That's what we just commented on. After Hatzat Tzvi, it says Ashochto. I can't hear Walter. Say it again.
The chilazon, you won't be shoichet, the chilazon.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Even if you didn't have to shoichet the tachash and the elim either. You could strangle them because you needed their hide. But you couldn't, killing, any kind of killing, whether you shechted them or whether you just killed them, is prohibited on Shabbos. It's not just shchita that's prohibited. Any you can't kill any animal by any. You can't shoot them or bow and arrow, anything like that. If you salt something or you tan something, the Gemara thinks it's the same thing. Isn't the same thing? So Rabbi Yochanan, in fact, Rabbi Yochanan say that they're the same thing, and therefore one of them should be removed, and the other Av Malacha that's put in there is making lines. That means when they cut the hides, they had to, like when we make seer to it, like when you write a Sefer Torah, and the Sefer carefully writes lines. Yeah. So here as well, they would cut out the pattern by which they were going to cut the hide, and that was part of the Av Malachos, because Melicha and tanning are the same thing. So we know that when you shecht meat, you have to salt it to draw the blood out. So somebody who salts meats on Shabbos, chayiv mishuma abe. He says you're chayiv like because of like tanning, like if you tanned a piece of leather. Rava Amar Eini Bud Ba'oichlin, he disagrees. He says salting is salting, and it's not tanning, and there's no tanning when it comes to food. And that's if you need to salt meat because you're going to go on a Navy ship for 3 months. That has to be salted in a professional manner, which to preserve the meat. So that would be considered like tanning. But if you're salting your meat to eat in your house, that's not a lot of salt. You don't salt meat until it becomes like a piece of wood. But like, the British Navy, the salami and all of these cold cuts we have, the Navy created that. That was the way they preserved and pickled meat. So the sailors would have, 2 to 3 months worth of meat to eat. So that type of salting would be considered ibud. Then it says v'amemachko v'amechatcho. If you smooth out something or you cut it, Amrabav Acha Barchanin Ashaf Bein Amudim B'Shabbos. You place the hides between some pillars, and this would smooth them. So I guess they were rolling pillars. That Ravashi taught me 3 things. Hamegara Roshe Klunsus B'Shabbos. You straighten out some kind of beams on Shabbos. Chai Mishum Mechatech. It's cutting. Hamamarech Retia B'Shabbos. There's some kind of bandage that you have on a wound. You're chayiv because of smoothing out. Amisati t'sa'evim b'Shabbos chayiv b'shum makeh b'patish. This is some kind of stonework. Lachar shenekram, and after you mine the stone out of the mountain, you smooth it. So you're chayiv because of makeh b'patish. That's the final malacha that you did for that. Amr Shimon Kismar Rish Lakish Hatzar Tzura B'Kli. If you make some kind of you paint or you do some kind of indent in a klicheres, some kind of picture, or you do it in glass, you blow glass. Chay b'shum makeh b'patish. And also chay because of makeh b'patish. You pull out the last thread that's hanging from a garment. And immediately the capital of it, because that's if he is makpid on that thread. Somebody writes 2 letters. Because of you wrote a big aleph, and in that big aleph you could have written 2 letters. Are you chayiv? The Gemara says no potter, but because you only wrote 1 letter. But when it comes to erasing, if you erased 1 letter, but you that space, you can write 2 letters. You're chayiv for mechika. This is the stringency of erasing over writing, because if you erase 1 letter, you could be chayiv. If you could write 2 letters in that place where you erased. If you build or destroy a mechaber, you extinguish from maver, you light the flame of makeh b'patish. Anything that finishes the malacha, you're chayiv b'shum makeh b'patish. Okay. Elu avos malachos. What's this elu? These are the 39. Lafukim and Rabbi Eliezer to mechayiv al told them b'makom av. So, gentlemen, up until now, we've been learning, not like this, Rebbe Eliezer, that let's say under Zriya you have 5 toldos. We said there's this, there's that, there's grafting. So if you do 5 of those malachas, the Av and the Tolda, in one helam, you only bring 1. I don't care how many Avs and Toldas you do, if they're in the same category, you only bring 1 Chattis. According to Rabbi Eliezer, you bring another Chattis for even a Tolda within the same Av. We don't paskin that way. Ein halach with Rabbi Eliezer. So if an Av has 5 Toldas, and I did the Av and 5 Toldas, I don't bring 6, I bring 1. According to Rabbi Eliezer, I bring 6. Then it said, Arboim Choser Achas. Lafukim Rabbi Yehuda, the Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Moisef, Es HaShoivet VaMedagdek. This had to do with the warp and the woof of a loom. That if you added one of these threads or whatever, we need a video on warp and woof and looms. But he added one of these malachos, so he had 40, not 39. Abru lo shovin arei b'klal mesa. We already have a malach of mesa, which is stretching the loom on the shesi. And that's weaving. So they argued with Rabbi Yehuda. We don't paskin like Rabbi Yehuda. They are not separate ovos malachos, says the Shulchan Aruch. Mishnah v'od klal acher amru kol hakosher latzniya. If this material is something that you would hide because a human being would use it, umatzniyan kamo, and people would hide even this amount of quantity and save it for use later on. We're going to learn that there's a chiyuv of carrying on Shabbos, but what you carry will determine whether you're chayiv. Everything that you carry has a certain shiur, and we're now defining those shiurim. If it's something that you carry about, it's got to be something that you care about, and it's got to be an amount that you care about. If it's less than that amount, you carry it, you're not going to be chai v'chatas for Shabbos for carrying it. So kol she'ena kosher latzniya. If it's not something that somebody would want, vein matzniyin kamohu, and people don't preserve these things. Now, it's going to be unique to the person who does care about it. So it seems like if I cared about something and I carried it, I'm chayiv, but somebody else doesn't care about it, that seems what the Gemara is saying. Says Rashi, "Ein chiyuv elo l'matznio, im nasa chaviv l'adam echad mitznio chayiv, al tzosodem chaziv otziu, aval adam acher ein chayiv alav, v'lagabei lav v'lochu." So that seems very strange. It seems to make this very subjective, that for this person it's going to be chayiv, for other people it's not. Then when we said kol kosher latzniya, whatever somebody is going to want to hide, lafuke ma, Rav Papa Omer lafuke dam nida. For example, a bedika cloth that's full of dam nida. So nobody's going to save that. Mar Ukva Omer lafuke atze ashera. Well, an atze ashera, not only, that's not this. That's aser bana. And it certainly mows. You have to destroy it. So that, if you carried something like that, you wouldn't be chayiv on Shabbos. Now, man domer dam nida kol shekein atzei asera, because dam nida is not aser bana. It just mows. Man domer atzei asera, dam nida matzniyah le'lishun. So, for example, the one who was only atzei asera, would not be in this category, because that's an aser bana. You have to destroy it. But for example, some blood, dam nida blood, you could throw it to a cat. A cat would eat it.
Yeah.
He might save it for his house pet. But the problem, the other mandomer says, kivan dechol shelo, guy's never going to keep the nida around, the dam nida, because that means it's like a skula. It weakens a person. If you give blood to an animal, it's some kind of bad skula. It's some kind of superstition or witchcraft or something. Because if person gives human blood to an animal, it's going to make that, it's almost like voodoo. Right? Like you have a doll and you put a voodoo, like a needle into a doll, and the guy got shoulder pain, something like that. All of this is not like Rabbi Shimon. Our Tana that said kol hakosher latzniya v'yesh po shir, sherov bnei adam asuin latzniya kashir hazeh. It has to do with the majority of people will keep some item like this, and therefore there's a chiv kol adam alotzaso. Even for a wealthy person, who normally it's not important this year, as long as it's important for some people. But our Tana is not like Reb Shimon, because Reb Shimon says that this is all unique for the individual person who is doing it. And the Gemara will explain his sheet in Hamosi. Okay. So tomorrow night, 8:00. Okay.